Well, if there can be no arrangement, then we are at an impasse.
I'm afraid so. I can't compete with you physically, and you're no match for my brains.
You're that smart.
Let me put it this way. Have you ever heard of Plato, Aristotle, Socrates?
Yes?
Morons.
Really?
Arturo, Nolan, Christopher, Arkham, the second, Ublester, Peñalosa, Munoz, Sam. Welcome to Morons Mince Movies.
What a great show that was.
And
What just
today,
happened?
we're talking
what
about
you're doing.
Christopher Nolan.
It's fucking beautiful.
That was really good. That was really clever, man.
I feel like I just watched a Christopher Nolan intro. I feel
That's
like
good.
I just watched
good.
a Christopher Nolan.
Even though
Because
I fucked up your
was
name.
like, at first I was like, what is happening? Shit's
And then it
happening
all
in
made
reverse.
sense.
There was no welcome. What is this? And then I realized I had to put all the clues together.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
watch the intro backwards.
Yes.
And then I'll figure it out.
Yes. Today, we're doing our second Celebrity Spotlight.
That was awesome, man.
That
I'm sorry.
was good.
I'm sorry.
That was
It was good. It was good.
So
Who
let's
are
do
we
this
doing our second celebrities
on
spotlight?
Christopher Nolan. We're doing it on Christopher Nolan. And I'm very happy to do this because
Yes.
I am a huge Christopher Nolan fan, and he just
Rightfully
won.
so.
He just won the Oscar for Best Director. If anybody who watched the Oscars, that happened about a
week or two
ago. From
At this point, yes.
At this point, yeah.
At the time of this recording, it happened exactly
About
6 days ago.
Yeah. That's right. So we thought, what a better time to talk about his career now that he's reached kind of one of the peak, I guess, one of his peaks, one of his many
he's
peaks,
on
because
a
he's had a lot
level.
of peaks. But yeah, let's get into it. Let's get right into it. The first thing I want to ask you guys is, when was your first Christopher Nolan movie?
Mine was honestly Batman Begins.
Batman Begins?
Yeah, that was my introduction
Mine was
to him.
Insomnia, but I didn't
Insomnia,
know. Yeah,
good,
but
good.
I didn't know that it was like a Christopher Nolan was a big thing, or I mean, he wasn't really, because all he had prior to that was Memento, which was huge. But in 2002, me being 18 years old, I didn't really know that Christopher Nolan was a big deal. I just remember this movie is fucking out there. It's so like mystery, and the concept of it being in this place where it's daylight for anyway. Spoilers.
Alaska.
Yeah. That was my first. That was my
Whoops.
first exposure.
Yeah.
For me, it was Memento, actually, way back in 2000 or 2001, I
saw
believe, around
Memento
there.
years later, and fuck, did that movie fuck you up?
Well, yeah, I mean, I was by that time I was already big into like trying to find
Movies.
the artsy films and
Yeah.
everything like that, and there was a lot of word of mouth with Memento, and it was nominated for best screenplay. So I was like, I gotta watch this movie, and then I watched it, and I was just amazed by it. Completely, just like, damn, this is like the most unique movie I've ever seen, most original movie I've ever seen, and I just loved it. And ever since then, I was like, I gotta watch every Christopher Nolan movie from then. So I've basically seen every movie as it's come out in theaters since then. And I recently watched Following, which is actually his first movie.
I haven't seen that.
I saw it on the list, of course.
I recommend it. When you watch it, you really see like he's always had this kind of style of always messing with the narrative structure, playing with time, because Following is exactly the same way in that it doesn't. I mean, that's not really a spoiler. I'm just saying that the narrative structure is not. From beginning to end, like he's bouncing back and forth and everything like that, and yeah, it's actually really good. I recommend it.
No, when I saw it on the list, I absolutely made a mental note of going back and watching that one, just so I can say I've seen every single one of Christopher Nolan's movies, like Sam can say. But I still haven't been able to watch it.
You should have tattooed your body in order to remember.
And listen, Arturo, God damn it, I'm so glad that was a nice segue, because as I was watching Memento, I'm going to be honest with you guys, I remember watching it, or maybe even trying to watch it years ago when I wasn't as, I don't know, developed or aware enough of movies to where I looked, I don't know. The point is, the movie itself, the tattoos, the kind of faint memory loss, the Guy Pearce, all of that I was familiar with from bits and pieces that I had seen along the way, but I never actually sat down and watched it beginning to end until a few nights ago. And I don't think I've ever related more to a movie character than
Because
my
that's
dear
your life
friend
right now.
Lenny, because that is a
Sammy
daily
Jenkins.
thing for me, man. Yes.
Sammy
There's a-
Jenkins, I believe his name.
Have I
Yeah,
told
it
you
was
about
Sammy
Sammy
Jenkins.
Jenkins, by the way?
Yeah.
This is a very extraordinary case. This guy is in an accident, right? Anyway, watching him every single time that he has to explain to someone, I'm sorry if I've met you before. I just don't remember. I have this condition. It fucking hit right here, man. It hit right here because, listen,
I've said
I'm
that
about
before.
to drop a bomb on you guys. I don't know if you know this, but my memory isn't really that great. I know, it's
Yeah.
a shock. I know.
Yeah.
We've never actually had this conversation before.
I
But-
hope no one ever murders your wife, because I have a feeling you're gonna end up.
Yeah.
You're gonna end up in this cycle. Of
Did I ever tell you about this guy, Sally Jenkins?
And
This
it
guy,
turned-
Ublester Peñalosa.
and then it turns out he's changed his name. Like now his name is like Roger Dodger or something like that. And he forgets that
Roger
his
Dodger. Yeah, man. So fucking Memento was a great. It's everything I expected it to be.
Yeah, I fell in love with this director from Memento on.
Do you remember where you
Surprisingly,
watched it? Sorry.
I watched it at home. I ended up renting it. I didn't watch that one in theaters because again,
Oh.
I found out a bit. I found out about it after it was like nominated for an Oscar, and so I was like, oh, I gotta watch
got
that
it.
one then. And so
local
then I
blockbuster.
rented it and I watched it, and from then on I was like, I gotta fucking follow this guy.
Yeah.
And then Insomnia is probably actually my least favorite of all his
I can
movies.
see that. Yeah, I can see that.
Um,
Al Pacino.
Yeah, Al Pacino, Robin
Booyah.
Williams, Hilary Swank. It's not that it's a bad movie. I think he hasn't made a bad movie in his entire career, but like that's the one that's the most straightforward. And when you kind of compare it to everything else he's done, it
More
you know,
tame.
it ends up being at the bottom just because it is a very straightforward kind of movie. There's no, twist. There's no reveal. There's everything is kind of just easy to follow and so on. And the Dark Knight trilogy is kind of the same way, but that has that Batman lore to it, which gives it a special, oomph to it.
Were you surprised when you found out that Christopher Nolan had taken on a Batman?
So yeah, when
Because he wasn't. I mean, this is someone that you're like so original. He does something that just stands out in Hollywood. He wouldn't go with these popcorn movie.
you know what you're gonna love in the movie following. There is a scene where they get into. I don't want to tell you the full context of the scene because I don't want to spoil anything. But they go into this apartment. They're about to go in there, and on the wall is a Batman sign.
Oh,
Cool.
And
Christopher Nolan's
and
Batman.
people everybody says like he was like unintentionally foreshadowing that someday he was gonna do the Batman movies.
trilogy. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, there you go. And our wonderful producer is pulling up the scene
Great,
here.
you're on fire today, man.
I know. Look at you. Look at you. You might want to forward a little bit. Oh, they're getting to it. Are they there? Yeah, there you go.
yeah,
I
it's on the
see it.
door.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was I was gonna wear my Batman bathrobe today, and I can't find it.
Oh man.
Yeah, I thought it was
you
like-
checked the bathroom.
I did. It's not in there.
Going back to your question though, when I first heard that he was gonna do the Batman movies, I was very happy because I knew that.
You're a huge Batman fan.
But
makes
that's the thing. Like I already knew who he was at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So when they announced that it was him, I was like, oh shit! Like this is gonna be interesting. Like this he's a good director. Let's see what he's gonna do with it. And so I was excited for him to take the Batman movies on.
Yeah, he did great work with it, man.
He did, man. Batman Begins.
Groundbreaking.
As I mentioned, that was my introduction
Your
to him.
intro, yeah.
And I was just like blown away by his like the way the storytelling aspect. Like, it was so rich. It was so detailed, especially during that time frame where a lot of the comic movies that were out were.
Comic book movie.
Yeah. You had your standouts like Spider-Man and X-Men, but like Batman Begins really brought it to like a whole nother level of like this gravitas to it, And I loved the simultaneous storyline between the past and like the present, and just seeing how him develop. And when he ended up doing The Prestige, that was my first instance of paying attention to, I guess, more directors and being like, oh, he's bringing people that he's worked with before.
Yeah.
And that was like the first time I noticed that in directors, and then now Christopher Nolan has really made a
That was the
habit
first-
of that. because he brought back Christian Bale, and it was just and it got me just that the back to back of those two films. I'm like, okay, I'm all in for this guy.
Yeah.
You know, let me look at the rest of his filmography, and from there on out, he ended up being one of my favorite directors of all fucking time.
Agreed.
And then when Inception came out, my mind exploded because it was so many people, and ensemble casts weren't super common, and if they weren't done super well. But in this case, it fucking shined.
Yeah.
Let's we'll get to Inception later.
Yeah.
I kind of want to go.
movies, man.
I was just mentioning my little journey right there.
No, it's good. It's good. I do want to kind of go chronologically.
Yeah, let's go chronologically.
So we kind of talked about following a little bit. And by the way, watch it if you haven't seen it. It's an easy watch. It's only about an
Where
hour
is it?
long.
Can I rent
It was really an hour long.
Yeah, it's.
Oh, shit.
I'm serious. It's like
You
an
can-
hour and
you
10
can
minutes.
actually watch it for free on YouTube.
Yeah. You can,
okay.
yeah.
How much do I have to pay?
It was
for the
it was
YouTube
it was a
subscription?
completely independent film. He did it for like I think the
Free.
budget was
an
like
hour and 10.
I think the budget was like $6,000 or something like that.
Wow.
He like filmed it on
can make that
weekends.
movie.
And it's in black and white. It's it looks pretty indie. It's not gonna be a great production or anything like that. But it's in terms of the story, it's a very good movie and it's an easy watch. It'll fly by. You're like, oh shit, movie's over already.
on my list. I'm gonna
Great
watch it.
movie. Highly recommend it. And then Memento came out, and I think that's become a classic now, in my opinion.
Yep.
I mean, and if you haven't watched Memento, go watch it. It's
more than
still-
meets the eye.
It's still, even though like that kind of storytelling has now become, it still is unique.
No,
like nobody has been able to
Yep.
really like duplicate
this,
it.
like they did, like he did. No,
Nobody has been able to do it. Like
because it's legit just backwards. It starts with the ending.
yeah,
And then you see 10 minutes before that, and then you see maybe 30 minutes before that, and you see maybe 4 hours
but
before
then
that.
you still,
it
you
goes,
still
no,
have a
it
linear,
goes in,
yeah.
in
'Cause
15-minute increments.
And
Like
then the phone call is happening in real time.
in between, in real time, and you don't
but that
realize
which
that
is
until
actually
the
the beginning.
end. yeah, no,
And then it all meets
that's right,
at the
because-
end,
yes,
which is the beginning.
yeah, and it has
Have you-
Trinity from the Matrix in it.
Yes.
That
Carrie Ann Moss.
twist
She did
with
great.
her.
Oh
was-
yeah,
I was like
100%. I was
Trinity.
like, no,
Trinity, stop it.
And that's fascinating too is how he managed to put you in the perspective of the main character, even though your memory is not flawed except for Uble. Uble probably was like, oh my god.
How did you know that?
But
think we
you,
ever talked
as
about
you're watching it, you're just as confused as he is because you're trying to, put the puzzle pieces together because it's going backwards,
Yeah.
and you're just like, okay, like what's gonna, like, how did this come about? And then they give you a little bit of the answer,
little bit at a time,
a little bit at
yeah.
a time, and it just ends wonderfully.
so well.
But-
like, dude, well, then
it's one of the
hats off
great
to
mind
Guy
fucks.
Pearce too. By the way, I really want to establish that.
Guy
You
Pearce.
talked to him? What?
Hats off
Hats
to
off.
Guy
Oh,
Pearce.
so you had talked to him.
I got to speak to him. No biggie.
Yeah.
I think he did a phenomenal job in this role, especially when it was supposed to go to Brad Pitt, and then that didn't work out because of scheduling issues.
Oh shit!
Oh,
I didn't know
yeah.
that. I didn't know
So
that.
then they were like, you know what? Fuck an A-lister. Let's just do something different. And then he nailed the shit out of that role.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's
Great.
also in the kind of Monte Cristo that I really want you to see.
Oh, okay. I gotta watch that.
Yeah, after
So,
Memento
quick sign
came
up
Then
there.
Insomnia.
Insomnia.
Yeah, which,
I
like I
haven't seen
said,
that one either. Actually,
I think it's a good movie.
Yeah.
It's but like I said, it's my least favorite of his films. But Robin Williams is really good in it, and I mean, it's got a great cast: Al Pacino, Hilary Swank. It's about a detective.
Murder mystery
He's
in
got a little bit of a
Alaska.
past, and he's hired to go to Alaska to solve this murder, and it just follows the detective as he's trying to solve the murder. And the only, I guess, special
can't
thing
sleep.
is that he can't sleep because he's in the middle of Alaska and
It's daytime all the time.
yeah, and so he's
so it's
having
the
some
opposite
issues.
of 30 Days a Night.
yeah,
Gotcha.
yeah,
Alright,
exactly. Yeah.
I think Noel, you were saying something. I think we got you
Oh,
off.
that Memento is free on YouTube as well.
Oh,
As well.
oh,
Jesus.
okay, all
Can't
right.
believe
I s-
Memento.
I paid $4.99.
With ads? With ads?
No,
Hmm.
Following and Memento are free.
Oh, damn. Interesting. All right. Yeah, I don't have much else to say about Insomnia. It's,
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
like I said, good movie. Probably his least best one.
I excuse it because it's in 2002. 2001 to 2006, 7, I feel like was tough for a lot of movies, man. It's-
No.
Yeah,
I need to go back and
I
look at
different
really
it.
episode.
argue against
That'll be a
that.
different
yeah.
episode. I'm not
Spider-Man
saying there
came
were no good
out.
ones.
X-Men
I'm
came
not
out.
saying there were no good
Blade
ones.
2 came
Okay.
out.
Not Bring It On.
Okay.
Bring It On 3.
All right. And then came Batman Begins.
Yes.
Batman
which
Begins.
we've talked about, and
I
that
think
was
that's where everybody
Yeah.
came
I mean,
from
it was
Yeah.
just so much happened all at once, and like it was the partnership with Hans Zimmer as well, and that became a
Yes.
team, and like
And-
just having his brother work with him on films as well.
and that's when the studio really got behind him. I mean, they gave
Cillian
him-
Murphy's first work. With.
yeah, and you know that? Did you know that Cillian Murphy auditioned to be Batman?
Correct, yes,
yeah,
he did.
yeah.
I
Yep,
remember.
Yeah, and Nolan was like,
Wild,
you're
man.
not good for Batman, but
Yeah.
you know, I have this other role.
He's
as
out.
the
You're too
Scarecrow."
scrawny. You look like a scarecrow.
wow.
Quickly jotted down
Wow.
some notes. I was there. I saw how it
You
happened.
were there, yeah.
Oh, that was my
that's-
line.
Those were his
Yeah.
words.
This is probably honestly the closest inclination to a Batman horror movie that there has been. With
Yes, yeah. That's the closest because of the Scarecrow
the
element.
Scarecrow, the
Yeah.
fear, the fog. You see that rampant in the people, the uncertainty of what's going on, and I'll fucking kill for a horror movie that's in the Batman world. You heard it here first.
Oh man.
So
But yeah, I love this movie.
yeah, same. This came off the backs of what was the previous Batman movie to this? Batman and Robin.
Batman and Robin.
Yes.
Yeah. So this
So
kind of
the bar was really low.
Oh yeah. I mean, there's a reason. Yeah, there's a reason why they waited so long.
As a huge Batman fan, like I know Sam, Arturo, and myself are, and probably Noel. I don't really know about his personal life, but I assume you like Batman. He looks more
Do
like
you
a
like
Superman
Batman?
guy.
Yeah, he's alright.
All right.
Is that it?
You're more of a Green Lantern guy?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Really, Kyle
So-
Radner, Jon Stewart, Hal Jordan.
So,
Just
so
for
as a
Cruise?
Batman fan, it was nice to finally see the property in the right hands. In the
Yes.
hands of someone that actually was going to do the character right.
And to be taken so seriously.
And to be
Yes.
taken seriously.
especially after the Joe Schumacher movies, they were
Yeah, again,
were a mess.
It was tough. And hats off to Christian Bale, who I think he physically went all in, and then with his
His
portrayal
Bruce
of
Wayne is
Bruce
great.
Wayne, yeah, his portrayal of
his
the
Batman.
Batman,
is,
yeah, the voice.
That's
There
what I'm
was-
saying.
there was a huge
I'm gonna say
controversy.
something that might be a little controversial.
I'm saying, it's like, at some point, we need to do a Batman ranking.
We
I would
do.
fucking love that.
We do.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna say something a little controversial.
I'm here.
Say it.
I think Christian Bale's Batman is not very good. I don't.
Yeah, no, man.
I know. I feel like that is starting to take shape now. That people are realizing that maybe his Batman wasn't very good, because whenever you hear about someone making fun of Batman, they're always
voice.
doing the Christian Bale
Yep.
voice.
Yep.
They're always like,
Yeah, yeah, you're
you know,
right.
they're always and that means that he probably wasn't that good.
About the mask. But who I am underneath.
And like he's got asthma or something.
God save you. Someone who will rattle the cages.
Yeah, that's fucking spot on.
Yes.
That's what bothered me as well, is the way he would talk.
Yeah,
Like
and-
just not being straight. Like he would, these metaphors, what do we do when we all fall down? Is we stand up again, or something like that. I'm sure that's what he said. I don't know.
You're misquoting his father when Bruce
Yeah, it
falls
was his
down the
father.
well and he says, "Why do we fall, Bruce?"
And Alfred
Yes,
says
and
the
Alfred
same
says
thing.
the same to pick
Yeah.
yourself back
Okay,
up.
nerds.
All right. Moving on from Batman Begins. After
Yeah.
Batman Begins, he
The
went back.
Prestige.
He went back and did an original IP film, right?
Yep.
The Prestige,
Dude,
which I
that
fucking love.
That movie was like that. I had to go back to theaters to rewatch it because it fucked with me so hard.
It's so
like the
good.
ending was like just. I mean, the whole film was great, but I'm like the ending was like, what?
Wait.
What?
Did you guys know that this movie is not really easily found on streaming services?
Huh?
What do you mean? Why not?
Because I looked for it to watch it and I couldn't find it.
Did you type in
You haven't
the
seen it?
Prestige streaming?
You haven't seen the Prestige?
You've never seen the Prestige?
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Get out of here!
I
I
know.
want to see it with
Get
you.
out of your own house.
I want to see it with you.
Oh well, we can't talk too much about it, but
Yeah, I'm
well,
sorry, guys.
it's about two
me take
magicians.
my Now, I know enough about Christopher Nolan's movies and
Dude,
what I've
it's right
seen.
there.
Where?
It's in Google. You just type in Prestige streaming
Yeah.
and it tells you where it is.
Which sites are there?
It's on Apple TV
I don't have that.
and it's on Prime Video.
Yeah,
Which
you
you
can.
have
It's,
because
I think it's only for
Due to
rent.
your
I
a
looked
very
for it on Prime
handsome
Video.
friend.
I look for it on Prime Video.
there.
It's not there.
It's
not
probably not. You have to rent it. Probably you have to rent it.
I
for
can
$3.49,
I
yeah.
can show you where to watch it.
Yeah.
Anywho, you should see it though.
No, absolutely.
Yeah.
Of
Yeah.
course.
100%.
Scarlett
I'm watching it.
Johansson, Hugh Jackman.
Yeah, I'm really sorry.
Christian
you guys.
Bale.
I really
Yeah.
intended to watch it. It's the one.
Michael
one.
Caine.
Michael
Michael
Caine.
Caine. Yeah, of course. I think he's
Yeah.
probably Actually, that'd be interesting finding out which actor has appeared the most in his work. Anyway,
I think it's Killian.
No, I think it's Michael Caine.
Really?
Yeah, I think he's appeared
Michael
in
Caine was in 3 Batman movies plus Prestige.
Inception.
That's 4 plus Inception. That's 5.
And Tenet. He's in Tenet for a little bit.
Tenet.
6. Yeah.
That's
and
6.
Cillian Murphy was
Cillian
Six
was
as-
in.
well, he's in 5.
Killian was in all 3 Batman
all three
movies as
Batman
well.
movies. Yeah, he was in Dunkirk
Dunkirk.
Oh, that's
He was in Oppenheimer.
and Inception.
And Inception.
That's 6.
That's right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're tied then.
They're
Tom
tied.
Hardy has been
fight.
in 3.
Yeah.
4. No,
4? No, Dark Knight Rises, Inception, Dunkirk, and
That's it.
He wasn't.
Yeah, he was in. That's it.
Anyway.
But anyways,
Yeah.
Prestige.
Prestige. Please.
One of his best ones.
Yes.
About 2 magicians, and
Yep.
they have
And
kind
that's
of a
it, that's it.
rivalry.
No more spoilers.
No, I know that.
They have a rivalry. That's
Yeah.
that's not a spoiler.
And they're
They're-
basically- and their tricks are
Batman
fucking amazing,
and Wolverine
right?
go head to head as
Right.
musicians.
And their,
Batman and
their
Wolverine.
tricks are amazing.
Why does it
and-
have to be connected to a goddamn comic
Oh,
book
now it
character?
makes sense. Batman and Wolverine. Thank
Yes,
you.
and Black Widow shows up in it too.
I know. You know what I loved about Nolan during this time, during his Dark Knight trilogy time, is that he would do a Batman movie, then he would do an original movie of his own, right? I mean, they were all written by him and everything, and his brother. But like he would say it was a Batman, and then one of his own, then Batman, then another one, then Batman.
It was
another-
epic. It was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, he had a great run during that trilogy. It was like every 2 years we had a fucking Nolan movie. It was a
Yep.
great time.
Yeah.
Great
It
time.
was, man.
And so after the Prestige, we have the
motherfucking
classic, The
Dark
Dark
Knight.
Knight.
Yeah.
Yeah, which many people consider one of the best superhero movies of all time.
Yes.
You know,
Not
with,
consider it is. It is a fact.
I don't know about that.
It is a
I don't know about
fucking
that.
fact.
I don't know if it's the
Have you
best.
seen
super-
Spy Kids 3?
Yes, have you?
Yeah.
Have you?
I haven't. No, actually, I've never seen any of them.
Or Air Bud, Dawn of Justice.
Yes.
I mean, that.
That was
Sorry, I took one of
no,
your
no,
jokes.
no. You son of a bitch.
Like, how
my
dare you?
bitch.
It's like, how dare you take my material?
Stab you. I'll fucking stab you. Anyway. Yeah, Dark Knight, man.
Yeah,
fucking,
dude, that was
How
incredible.
much more can we say about this that hasn't
Exactly.
already been said?
Exactly. Heath Ledger is that's just
Yeah,
And I thought
great
my
performance.
jokes were
Yeah.
bad.
I still, you know, out of all the Nolan movies, I feel like I complain the most about the 3 Batman movies because I have all these little things that I have against them, and I still think they're all good. Don't get me wrong,
Yep.
but there's always these everything with like the first Batman movie. I have certain things that I didn't like. With Dark Knight, I have certain things I didn't like. With the Dark Knight Rises. But I mean, I still appreciate everything he did for Batman, as we talked about already with Batman Begins and how he brought
Yeah.
it back
Yep.
from being the joke that it was with the Schumacher movies and making it serious. And now it's like everybody knows that when you make a Batman movie, it's got to be grounded, it's got to be
Yeah.
serious, it's got to
Gotta
be
be
dark.
great.
And,
We wouldn't have,
which I like.
the
I don't
Batman.
want it to ever go back to the days
It
of the
can't be.
Schumacher.
Yeah, George Clooney?
I
What do
like
you have
my
against-
Batman.
What do you have against nipples on a bat suit?
Everything.
If you're gonna go campy, you go all the way. You do
Adam
Adam
West.
West Batman
Yep.
is what you
There's
do.
no other way.
Yeah.
You know, I think The Dark Knight is probably my most watched film of all time.
really?
So
Wait.
well, specifically because I wanted because I had a random like graveyard shift job where I brought my iPod and watched movies on it, and I would watch The Dark Knight at least twice a week, and I was there for a full year. So I think
Wow.
that's why. But I fucking love this movie.
It's a good one. Heath Ledger is the main reason why I think this movie
There's
is
many
great.
factors, but Heath is definitely the shining
He steals
star.
the show,
He
man.
does, man.
Every time he's
Every
on
time he's
on screen, it's just like, oh yeah,
Every time.
Yep.
yeah.
His
yeah.
intro. He has 2 introductions.
So wait,
like-
so now that Dune
Yes.
2 is your favorite movie of all time, so Dark Knight has fallen.
It's still a bit. Yeah.
Is
I
that
mean, well,
number 2?
like Dark Knight is definitely, like I said, probably my most watched film of all time, and it is in I'd say my favorite films of all time. But there's things that it's malleable. It,
all right,
moves.
all right.
I still want to do our eventual desert movies.
Oh,
list.
a top
it'd
5 desert
it'd be
movies?
really interesting.
Someday we will. Someday we will.
It's definitely a comfort film for me, despite of how.
I think all of these are for
Yeah.
me, man. Honestly, I can put it on shuffle. I can tell my TV put
on
Christopher
Nolan.
Nolan on shuffle tonight, and then whatever movie pops up, I'll be like, oh, nice. I get
Yeah,
Interstellar.
they're all
Let's
good.
fucking roll, and that's it. There won't be like, ugh, I don't want to watch this one. I'm gonna change it.
How many movies has he made? Was it
He
6,
has made
7,
12.
8, 9, 10, 11, 12? Wow, 12 movies.
Yeah,
They're all
that's a
they're all
movie.
Took
good.
you a minute, huh?
God dang. All right. Anything else you guys want to say about The Dark Knight? I mean,
great.
I feel like
Again,
if
look
you
at
want to
all
know more
those
about The
things.
Dark Knight, there are a million videos out
So
there.
interestingly enough, just I was saying with The Dark Knight and watching it at that that job I had, it was a bindery, and it's tied to the Nolan era because we were making posters for Inception before they were officially released.
Oh,
And I just
really?
remember being super fucking hyped on this era of where I was watching The Dark Knight all the fucking time. I fucking loved Nolan as a director. And then we were doing stuff for Inception before the masses saw it. And
Nice.
It was such a beautiful epic
Where did
time.
you work? What
It was a bindery in Irvine.
Oh,
but we
okay.
had like high level clients and shit.
Oh, cool.
And just rolling that. I remember I stole one for myself.
Did you ever try to steal it? You
I-
did.
I fuck yeah, I did.
Ooh,
Fuck
Christopher
yeah,
Nolan.
you heard it here first.
Oh, right. I mean, get him,
I still saw
Christopher.
it.
Chris.
Yeah, I think it's still
Mr.
in,
Nolan.
Get him, Chris.
it's in my my old room at my parents' house in storage.
Wild.
Cool.
I'm pretty sure.
Nice.
Yeah, man.
Well, let's
Fucking
get to Inception because
Inception.
this out of all the mindfuck movies that Nolan has made, this is probably one of his best.
Someone went deep, man.
I mean,
People are still arguing about it to this day.
if you look at our top movies of the 2010s, I
was
think
in
we
our
all
list.
had
Yeah.
Inception
It
on all
was-
of our
it
lists.
was
And yeah, man,
rightfully
it's a
so.
fucking great movie. It's a movie that can be interpreted over and over again. It's just so it works as an action movie. It works as a heist movie. It works as
Sci-fi.
a sci-fi. It works as a movie that's
Visually, look at that.
as a mystery. Yeah, it's so fucking good, man.
Yeah.
So good with great performances all around.
I think the thing that stood out for me the most was just the idea, the concept, the fact that I had never seen anything that really described dreams. Like I've always, it was at that time I always knew to myself what it felt like in dreams to not be able to really, like it felt feeling like you're not able to punch someone. I'm sure you've all had that dream where you're in a fight and you just feel heavy. And I always thought that was just me. Like I always thought that these things that happened in my dreams was just kind of unique to me. I never spoke to other people about my dreams. And then I watched this movie and they're like, no, yeah, these are things. And this is why those things are things. And dreams, and you can dreams within dreams. And you have to state everything about this fucking movie to me was just mind-blowing. Yeah, I can't say more than that. I'm sorry.
No, dude, you're right. 100%.
Yeah, and I think by this time now, Nolan's name had become like he becomes something like Tarantino, where it just you didn't really need to know what the movie was about. It was just like Christopher Nolan movie is coming, like okay,
Well, and then
we're
the
gonna
scene
watch it.
That's playing now too. That I feel like that he really got a reputation for that as well. Like having practical effects, recreating things, buying abandoned buildings just to blow them
And
up.
having those
Like-
buildings turn around the actors.
Yes, how
that
did they
are
do that
suspended
practically?
and said, yup.
Okay.
Oh,
wait,
yeah,
wait,
when
no,
they're
no.
fighting, you're talking about the
I'm
fight.
talking
Okay,
oh,
because it
yeah.
sounded like you were like talking about like when they bend, like, oh
Yeah,
my
yeah.
god, they
No,
do
no,
that.
no. I'm
But
legit talking
like,
about that
when
hotel
Arthur,
scene.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt, when he's fighting in the
Yes,
tunnel,
that guy.
they built a hamster wheel basically,
Yes.
and they fucking did that.
They're inside.
Like,
Oh shit! Hold on.
Sam's
Sam's getting too hot talking
Yeah.
about
It's getting hot.
Gordon Levitt.
Oh,
Yeah,
Joseph Gordon-Levitt is in
Dude, he
this.
was so handsome. I mean, they all were.
so handsome.
But like, dude, the style, by the way, like the style that everyone was like working, like in this film was like, fuck yeah! It inspired me to suit up more often. That's for sure.
Now the level of dreams that
But no, dude,
Arturo,
the
like you
dream
mentioned,
sequence,
the
yeah,
fact that
man.
it's still in contestation of like, was he dreaming at the end? Was that fucking
We don't
spinny
know.
thing going to wobble or not? And
I'm almost certain
Bigature
now.
or whatever. Is that how you say it? Bigature?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, opposite of a
big-
miniature.
miniatures that are bigger.
Yeah.
Bigature.
That's what this was.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
wild.
Yeah, I truly believe. Spoiler alert! If you haven't seen, I believe he's dreaming the whole time. I believe the whole movie is a dream now. After I've seen that professor, did you guys watch that video of the professor talking about this movie that I sent you guys?
No, but I saw the theory where this is secretly a dream of Jack Dawson before he becomes Gatsby.
what? What the fuck are you talking
Oh, where it
about?
turns out he's one of the kids from the Willy Wonka factory. yeah.
Oh, not that one.
The German one. Yeah. Augustus. There you go.
Yes.
I read that theory.
All right.
No, yeah. I can fucking stay up all night watching reading the theories of
Inception.
all the
Of
different things
Inception?
of Inception.
Yes,
Yeah.
fantastic.
And that's what makes it a
Score.
great movie.
Next up, The Dark Knight Rises,
Yes.
the culmination of the Dark Knight trilogy.
Yeah. Did it hit
I-
you guys? Like,
For me, it did. Yeah, I know
Did
it had a.
close it? Yeah.
Dark
Was it
Knight
the
had
closure you
had
needed?
risen the bar so fucking high that no matter
Yeah.
what, it wasn't gonna hit that. So I actually really appreciated how the villain in this was a force of fucking nature, you know,
Yeah.
as opposed to the more methodical Joker. And I had a great fucking time with him, man. I actually really did enjoy it.
Tom Hardy brought a lot to this.
I liked it
Yeah.
as well. I mean, I again with the Batman movies, there's like these little things that I didn't like, but I did find this like a good ending, like a good closure to the Batman story.
Yeah.
And I mean, even though somehow he survived an atomic bomb, but. You know,
Batman.
maybe he found that pillow factory that one lady
There
from
it
Godzilla
is.
might
Yeah,
as well.
from Godzilla.
No.
Shut
But I love the last scene where, you know, spoiler alert, you haven't seen it, Alfred, you know, he's
having
having
himself a cup
dinner,
of tea.
and it, you know, everything that he wanted, you know, because
Yeah.
he has that speech with him and earlier in the
Yes.
movie, like I want to see you just you know, having dinner or whatever, and
I want to see you from far away.
and be okay.
And we
and-
just nod to each other like a couple of folks. It's like,
Yeah,
hello,
like-
sir.
Yeah. I enjoyed that. I felt like there was good closure to Batman, which I honestly have never seen. Like even in the comic books, there's no closure to Batman. If
Because
even
it's still happening.
huh? No, but I mean, there's the
No, I
eras.
know what
there's
you
like
mean.
the
Yeah,
modern
yeah,
era.
yeah.
There's like
Yeah.
except for like the golden age era where he actually dies.
Yeah.
But
I feel
like
the
in terms
Batman-
of the
I feel
modern
like
era,
the
there's no closure to
the
Batman.
Batman Begins cartoon Batman, who's older and now helping a younger Batman do his work. I
Batman
feel like
Beyond?
Batman
Batman
Beyond.
Beyond.
Sorry, I said Batman Begins.
I was like,
Batman
there was
Beyond.
an anime.
Yeah.
I do like that
I
story
feel like
too.
that is closure for me because it's like he's fucking gonna die. He's an old man doing still what he loves, which is being associated with a bat that stops crime.
I'm so pissed that
I-
film didn't happen.
I do
can
like
still-
that.
it can
I
still
do
happen.
like that story as well.
Yeah, but
But
you're
I
right,
feel
you're right.
for
Yeah.
a trilogy, this has
Yeah.
a great
It- yeah, it
beginning,
did a
middle,
good
and
job.
ending
Honestly,
to
Yeah.
Bruce Wayne's story.
Yep.
Yeah,
and it was
which-
also in a time where comic book trilogies weren't really nailing the third film either.
Yes.
Yeah, and
I
So-
can name a few, but
Des-
I won't.
despite
I won't
its-
get too upset.
this is
It'd be X-Men of me to say anything that would Spider-Man-y get you upset about trilogies
Blade
that didn't
3.
end well. Yeah. It would be a Blade 3 to your heart.
all
Anyway,
right.
sorry, yeah.
Anyways, moving on to the next movie, which is
Interstellar.
one of Ubla's favorite.
Interstellar. What do you guys want me to go on for? Like,
Yes,
how
I
much
do.
time do I
Another
have?
2 hours?
Give me
Yes.
some time.
do it,
Give me
do
a
it.
limit, because
Murph.
Give me 2 minutes. Go.
Murph.
so you give me a movie that has father dealing with kid and responsibilities and hardships, and you add space to that. Specifically, you add black holes and you add time changes and different planets.
Oh, shit. Timothy
different-
Chalamet?
Yeah. He's
Oh, fuck.
he's
yeah, he
he's a
was
brother,
in
right?
this.
Yeah.
Yeah. I also found this out recently. Look how young he looks.
Yeah. I haven't rewatched this in a long time.
Atreides
It's so good.
working on a farm. Anyway, you
And the post-apocalyptic type thing, you know.
yeah, you all
End
of
of the world.
Corn.
every single part of this movie, every story, when he finds out that years have passed, that reveal after they're on that fucking
The
water
planet.
planet, and they get back to their ship, and what's his face, who waited behind, is now much older, and is like, fucking, where have you been? And Matthew McConaughey's goes immediately to watch all these old fucking backlogged videos. I'm gonna get emotional. I'm gonna do my best to not tear up, but that part where he's essentially watching his kids grow up
Yes.
by themselves without him responding, and
It is.
and
no,
it's not even like the end of the movie.
That's
right
like the
there.
middle.
That's like the middle. There's still
So 2 hours left.
and just visually, and again the
Yeah,
the concept,
this-
everything about this fucking movie.
Yeah,
God damn
it's
it.
probably his most emotional movie that he's made. And it's also another one of his most mind-fucky, if that's a word.
Yeah.
Because
We'll make it a word.
The ending is amazing to me. It's been a while that I
find out that it was us the entire time.
Yeah. Damn it! Damn you!
Damn you all to hell!
I think we're mixing up the movies here.
We all knew what we were talking about, though.
Yeah.
Mark Wahlberg shows up, right?
I believe so.
Anyway, yeah, man, it does. It is a mind fucking
fuck.
movie because of the whole black hole concept, and that's the thing is,
And everything that happens after that. I mean, there's some spoilers, by the way, with all these, with everything that we
yeah,
talk
for everything minus the Prestige because that would have affected me personally.
Yeah.
about. If you don't want to,
But everything else,
but the
spoilers.
audience.
Yeah, the audience, they can watch the movie on push pause.
And
then
this film
come back.
actually also made me take Matthew McConaughey seriously.
really,
Like I never had anything against him, but he was always just a comedic actor. A lot of rom-coms.
he had a stint where he was doing a lot of romantic comedies and
so
stuff.
like when I saw him in this, I was like, oh,
Dazed and Confused
fuck.
didn't do it for you because that's where I took
comedic.
him as
it was more comedic. Yeah.
And I was like, if you got to, you're
mean,
working hard to portray that southern, relaxed.
I mean,
all right.
Dallas
Persona.
Buyers Club. Did that?
Actually, I still haven't seen Dallas Buyers Club.
Oh, it's
I know,
great.
I mean,
you should watch that
too.
Anyway, the score as well. Now that
Yes.
fucking piano,
Yes.
I
Yes.
goosebumps right now. I just gave myself goosebumps.
Hans.
I just gave myself goosebumps. Yeah,
You've done it again. You've done it again. Christopher.
yeah, man. Everything about this fucking movie, dude. 10 out of 10. He nailed it out of the park right there.
Yeah, that Interstellar is one of my favorite movies of all time. It was my number one movie of that year in 2014. I love that fucking movie.
okay.
Many of Nolan's movies have been in my top 10. Like I think Memento,
Rightfully
Inception,
so.
Interstellar, Dunkirk, Oppenheimer. I mean, he's
true.
just so he's fucking the guy makes masterpieces. Anyways, but
Well,
yeah.
speaking of Dunkirk,
Yes. Dunkirk is another fucking great movie. And I love what he does with the time, the narrative structure of this one as well, which is confusing at first, as some of his movies are. But as the movie progresses, you start to get it. And you're like, oh, okay, I see what's happening here.
I love that about him.
Yes.
Like that, and not everything is spoon fed. Like your brain's
He's never
working.
spoon-fed.
Like,
Never.
like I love that. I love that you're gonna go into these films and you're gonna
You have to
get
pay
into it,
attention.
and you have to pay attention. Get the fuck off your phone and just be there. Like I fucking love that.
Yeah, and this is another one of those movies where I love the look of it, the score, everything is just working so well together. It was just a great movie, and the way it's presented is so unique.
I will say all the time periods that he does, any movie that's in a different time period, he nails it.
Oh yeah.
And I know it's production designer. I know there's a whole bunch of other people that are in charge of it, but he obviously oversees it and has a significant amount of like, no, this needs to be this way. And I never watch a movie of his where I feel like that just doesn't fucking feel like it's 1940s. That doesn't feel like it's 1910s. You know, it's supposed to be, but he fucking gets every detail exactly the way it needs to be. So this movie, especially because it's based on a historical event, adds even more to it because you're just fucking you're imagining yourself being those fucking 18, 19-year-olds on that beach and just fucking experiencing all this shit. So yeah, no, this one hit differently because of the fact that it was kind of that heavy.
Oh, for sure. And in addition to that, I think you guys heard that theory that Nolan is a time traveler and he films these things in those periods, and that's why everything. Yeah, I mean now it makes sense.
That's why he's so good with playing with time in his movies. I get it.
But he's always wearing a scarf.
It's just. Can you imagine him writing this movie? Because if you haven't seen it, right, there's three stories going on at the same time.
Simultaneously.
And they're simultaneously, but they're going at different speeds, basically, right? The dogfight in the air is like a 1 hour's worth of time.
Yeah.
Which kind of spans, or is it 2 hours worth of time? I can't remember anymore. But I think one of them spans the actual amount of time of the film, if I remember correctly. And then another story is about like half a day or whatever. Then the other story is like a full day
week.
or full or
Week, right?
I don't know. Yeah, but they're all going at the same time, but at different speeds. And I just imagine like, how the fuck did he write this? like, how does the screenplay look for this fucking movie? And it's like, all right, now
Day
we're
one.
now we're cutting.
storyboards.
Now we're cutting to this, and we are 1 hour and 5 minutes into it, and then now we're cutting. This is now 2 days later, and now we're going, and now we're like.
Do you think that the people that are greenlighting this are just like, we're just gonna fucking greenlight it, man? We don't
They say
need to-
Nolan and like, oh,
We're not
fuck
gonna
it.
understand it.
by this
We're not
time,
gonna
it didn't
understand
matter.
it.
His name alone.
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
good.
Like we don't need to understand it. Let's just let him do what he wants to do.
Because he's always has such a
Barry
style.
Keoghan.
Yep,
Oh
Keoghan.
shit, that
Yep,
is Barry
yep, yep.
Keoghan.
Yeah.
You're
He
right.
just had such a style, like, and like it was always known that he was.
Yeah.
You just knew you couldn't lose with Nolan in this. This is like, that was it.
Yep, he's become like a god tier where, like, he's with the Spielbergs and Tarantinos and the Scorseses and the Kubricks. He's just he's that kind of director.
That and like like I said, the visual style, but what he's always done, as we see Kenneth Branagh, is like he's found these amazing actors and he keeps bringing them back, and he like there. I've never seen him miscast.
Yeah, that's
Like,
true.
I wasn't the biggest fan of Anne Hathaway at first, but then when I
for
saw it,
Catwoman?
and then I was sold the way his interpretation was and what Anne brought to the role. And again, I'm seeing everyone. Killian, come on, and it's just it adds to that too, because I think that's a big thing for like non super cinephiles, I guess, is that you'll see like people on the screen, oh, and I love so and so actor. And the fact that he's using and bringing up these actors and making them more recognizable, and people are like flocking because, oh my God, so and so is in it. Yes, it adds even more to it. If that makes any sense.
No, I agree. I agree.
Like he took a chance with Harry Styles on this, and he didn't know who he was.
Oh wow,
He just auditioned normally.
nice, nice.
And he got the role, and he treated him like a serious actor, and Harry treated it like a serious role. So even that shows a lot about Nolan,
I think Harry Styles gets a bad rap, but his last two movies, like he was getting like bad reviews for some reason.
I thought he did great. In
Yeah,
Don't Worry,
he's
Darling.
he's a good actor. I don't get this. I think it's because he's popular and I don't
Haters
know.
gonna hate.
Yeah. Anyways, all right. Moving on to Tenet.
To the most controversial Nolan movie of all time.
Really? Why? Why do you
I
say
mean,
so?
I love Tenet, but I feel like I feel like a lot of people didn't necessarily get it, and as a result, just trashed it.
I kind of agree with you. I think
Yeah, there was. I remember there being a lot of hate on this movie because of that. Because of
it's too hard to follow.
Essentially, yeah.
That's the thing. Like,
Maybe
there
even
is, you
needlessly?
know what the main problem with this movie was just the sound mixing. That was the main problem, because
was so low.
when I saw it in theaters and the movie ended, I was like, I got the gist of this movie, but and like,
kind of want, right? At
no,
the end
like
of the
I
movie,
came
you
out
wanna
of
at
it
least get
like
the gist.
I came out of it and I knew like the basic, tenets of the story, and like I understood what happened at the end, and I was like, okay, I got this. But there's a lot of holes in here. Like I feel like I missed. And then I rewatched it, at home with the subtitles, because if you remember, this came out during the pandemic.
Yeah, it was one of the few movies I went in theaters to see.
Yeah, because he wanted it to be. Yeah.
They tried.
Yeah, but it came to streaming pretty quickly because of the pandemic and everything. So I saw it again with the subtitles, and after I saw it with the subtitles, I was like, oh,
His name is Adam. Well, now I get it.
The problem was that you couldn't hear some of the conversations, and because the dialogue is so detailed, and you have to be paying attention.
Oh, God,
and if you weren't paying attention, you're just gonna miss all these details that are actually being delivered in the dialogue itself. So if you've only seen this movie one time and you saw it in theaters without subtitles, I highly recommend go watch it with subtitles, and you're gonna enjoy it a lot more. And I mean, that's not to say that he should have done a better job with the sound mixing. I mean, that's still a fault of Nolan and the production of this movie, and that it is difficult to hear what's being said, and it's hard to follow. But I still think it's a great movie.
I fucking loved it.
Once you understand what's going on, it's like, whoa, shit, mind's blown again.
And it's one of his
Has to
most.
do with time travel.
No,
No,
it's
it doesn't
it's
actually.
it's more
Have
about
you
reverse.
seen Tenet?
I've seen it once at movie theaters, and because I didn't understand it, at the end of the movie, I was like, all right, I'll try again later. And then I never tried again later.
It is a
Because of all the hate on the internet. I'd be like, yeah, you know what? Yeah, it is complicated. Yeah, fuck that. I'm trying to go back. It is too complex.
Similarly to Sam, I wanted to rewatch it because like I felt like I had missed certain things, even though I loved it on my initial watch. And then during my second watch, you just had this like, oh my god, like because you're aware of certain things now, and I ended up loving it even more so. So I would definitely suggest that second viewing.
It definitely grows on you. It's
yeah.
one of those movies that grows on you.
And I feel actually that this, I mean, a lot of his movies have had action, but I feel like that might be his heaviest action.
And it has great
Film.
choreographed
No,
stunts.
Tenet.
No, I'm saying
more
than Dunkirk with the
I mean, all the
With
War?
because there's a lot of fighting. There's the whole like third act of all the soldiers.
Going backwards.
The car racing. And, I mean, this chases.
And it has great stunt choreography because you know the fight that's happening backwards. It's my understanding that they choreographed it in a certain way. Yeah, backward. Yeah,
No
so
way.
so it's amazing those fights that you think that they probably the easy thing would have been to just film it and then
rewind it.
rewind it, but he didn't do that. It was my
It's
understanding.
Nolan.
too lazy.
Yeah.
Let's do it in space. Let's do it. But sir, we can just do this here on. No, let's do it in space. But sir, the movie doesn't take place in space. You see, so there's no point. Let's do it in space. Okay. Christopher Nolan wants us to do it in space. We're gonna do it in space. And it wins an Oscar.
Yeah.
He went somewhere else.
And now we get to his final film, Oppenheimer. I mean, do we need to talk about Oppenheimer? I feel like we've
recently talked a few things about Oppenheimer.
Yeah. There's been
Click
enough.
here.
There's been enough said about Oppenheimer already,
Fucking
and
amazing.
although I don't think it's his best movie, it's definitely worthy of the best picture. But yeah, man.
Ooh, okay, would you want to say that out loud, or would you want to say that for like a ranking episode? What you think his best film is?
Oh, I'll wait for a ranking episode on that one.
down to it.
Yeah,
Yeah, that'd be cool. That'd be cool. I like that. Yeah, let's do that.
Yeah,
But yeah, Oppenheimer. Fuck.
Yeah, again, his style continues with this whole playing with time. Narrative structure is not, beginning to end, and
You were on the edge of your seat. I mean, I was on the edge of my seat the entire fucking time, man.
and unlike the other action movies we've been talking about, there's not much action here. It's just a lot
the
of
way-
talking.
Yeah, it's a lot of dialogue, but you're drawn in with everything that's happening.
Yeah, it's the editing is great. The style is
cuts.
great. The performances are good. I mean, it's
Like, and I'm gonna echo something you said of this movie. Like, this is like a course in how to make a fucking movie. Everything about it, like just like it's filmmaking at like its peak.
And the explosion was exactly what it needed to be. It did not have to be any bigger. It did not have to be any louder.
Take that, Noel and Tori.
It was exactly what this film needed it to be. So, yeah, I agree.
So we've gone through
Oppenheimer,
his
great.
filmography. I want to ask what you guys want Nolan to do next. I mean, he's done so many things, so many genres from
it's
film
been-
noir, superheroes, war movies, sci-fi, like heist movies, mindfuck movies.
Okay.
Like what can Nolan do next?
I have two things. They're both unlikely, but still. Three things. One is if he did a film adaptation and he's allowed to do whatever the fuck he wants with it and go as fucking dark as he wants to go with it, I would want him to do a run on adapt Frank Miller's run on Daredevil. I think just the what he showed us with the Dark Knight and just going darker and broodier with Daredevil, and just have that battle of Catholicism and who he is as a character. I feel like it would just bring it to it would be so well. But they're already doing the spiritual sequel to the Netflix series, so that's not happening. The other thing I would really like to see that I don't see because he's kind of done his version of it is if he tackled Bond.
Oh, he's talked about that.
I've seen that. I've talked about it a lot. But Tenet in a way was his Bond. Interstellar. Sorry, Inception.
Inception. Inception
they
was
have those elements. But I think he would do a really great job with it and give us something different.
Yeah.
While staying true to everything else and a horror movie. I think he's touched on it here and there, but I think a horror movie by Nolan could be the biggest mindfuck horror movie of all time.
That's what I want. I want him to do a horror movie. I think that's the one genre that he hasn't touched that he would do great in. And
The little bits he's shown us, like you could tell. Like,
and
oh.
I think he's
He hasn't
talked
done
about
comedies.
If he did, this
He
would be the
hasn't
first
done
time.
comedies.
He hasn't had rom-coms.
That's true.
He hasn't done
Yeah, you're not wrong.
K-Nights playing sports. There's a lot of genres that Christopher Nolan has.
and I feel like if Nolan did horror, it'd actually like bring more attention to horror from the Academy and everything else.
That could
Like,
win fucking Best
yeah.
Picture. It was like
Yeah.
Pearl did a lot of things, Hereditary did a lot of things to have people turn and look at horror films differently. But I feel like if Nolan helmed a horror movie,
it's been a while. It's been Get Out won screenplay. Let's see. I mean, Silence of the Lambs won Best Picture. Exorcist got a bunch of nominations. I mean, horror's been a recognized here and there, but not as much as other movies. But yeah, I mean, with him behind the camera, he would probably get that kind of prestige to it. And the thing is, I feel like he would do something kind of mind-fucky again.
I don't feel like there's any genre that he can go wrong in. At this point,
I don't know,
like,
romantic comedies. I don't know. I don't think he'd be good for romantic comedies.
Okay, hear me out. What
What
about a romantic comedy where the main character
Is Michael Caine?
a guy who dresses as a bat to fight crime, right? But he keeps getting into these crazy situations where his girlfriend, a girl who dresses as a cat, has to rescue him from the situations. Rom-com right there.
Fantastic, Uwe.
Deal.
Write the
Christopher
script.
Nolan.
Write the script.
I'm just saying, I feel like he can touch anything that he wants, and like Midas, it'll turn to gold. Horror movie, fuck yeah, absolutely, give me a horror movie. Because a comedy, it'd be interesting to see what you have to do.
I don't know. I don't
comedy.
know if comedy is his thing
it's
though.
interesting because he does have like the slight good comedic touches in his films. Like, for example, I was reading because I did trivia on Memento for the first time because I rewatched it earlier this week, and that's how I found out about like Guy Pearce and stuff. And apparently, while they were editing and looking at everything in the film, he's like, "It's too serious here. We need to add something in the middle." So they added the scene where he barges into the wrong apartment.
Oh yeah. And he knocks
Like, and
someone
that was
out.
like a way afterthought.
like, sorry.
Yeah, that was. He's like, it's too serious.
No, he seems like
So
he
like
seems
I
a
just
chilly
thought that was
enough
like
guy.
so interesting to
Yeah.
me. Like, you know what? We need laughter right here.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I love that. I love it. It was great.
I
He
would-
knocked
I
the
would be
fuck out of the
interested-
wrong guy.
I would be interested in watching Christopher Nolan do a biopic on that guy who, what is it, H.G. Wells? No. What's the name of the guy who robbed the bank and then jumped out of a fucking airplane? and was never seen again?
Cooper.
Loki.
Oh my god. Yes,
Loki
Loki.
did
D.B.
him.
Cooper.
Davy Cooper.
Yeah.
To
sick.
see him kind of
And
do like a
have
his
Tom
life-
Hiddleston cast as D.B. Cooper.
That'd be mine. To see him kind of do something like that,
Yeah.
where it's a historical event,
Mm-hmm.
but there's enough shady facts that he has, freedom
fuck
to
with it,
kind of
yeah.
fuck with it on the way he wants to. But it's about that situation. That would be fucking awesome.
Hmm.
Anyway, that's my
All
answer
right.
to your question from like 10 minutes ago.
All right.
Yeah.
All right.
I think,
Well,
yeah. Well,
I
Noel
think they
just-
already announced what his next project is
I
looking
don't
like,
think
though.
so. No.
really?
I could have sworn
I don't
that I
think
saw
so.
Are we on Christopher Nolan's
recently,
page?
like yesterday. It was like, oh, fucking.
No, I don't think he's
No.
So,
got
okay.
anything in right
Maybe I'm
now.
wrong.
Well, I was just gonna bring up the fact because Noel brought up Man of Steel a second ago, and it's easy to forget he's also a producer.
That's true.
Yeah, and he helped bring Man of Steel to life.
Who has many hats?
Batman versus Superman. He actually had
Oh
a hand.
shit!
Yeah,
I
he
didn't
was
know that he was a producer on that.
executive producer on that and Justice League, Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Oh shit!
So
Cool.
yeah, just,
The man has good taste.
Yep.
yeah, he was-
All right. Well, I guess that's it. Unless there's anything
man.
else.
Oh
you guys
shit!
wanna-
Damn, it's almost an hour. Nice.
Yeah.
I mean,
I'm
yeah.
excited for
I feel
whatever.
like there's so much more we can talk about Nolan's movies, and we can go deep into each movie, but it would be like
Yeah.
a 10-hour episode,
Yes.
1 hour on each movie. 12-hour episode, there's 12 of them, right? But yeah, I can't wait to see what he does next. Congratulations on that Oscar.
Yes.
You finally got it, and
If
you
you're
deserve
listening,
it.
Chris, we love you.
long
Yeah.
overdue.
Yes.
Oh,
and
oh.
please give me a call.
Oh, by the way, now that we're talking to the audience, thank you everyone who's been subscribing. Holy shit, and watching things. We have seen an exponential growth within the last couple of weeks.
Yes, thank
and
you.
We can't thank you all enough. I think Sam sold his soul at some point, and
I did.
Thank you, Sam, for that.
Gave a few hand
but
jobs
thank you
as
for
well.
being here.
Explains everything.
Yeah. Yeah. Thank you for subscribing, and please continue to subscribe and
Subscribe even harder.
yes, subscribe harder. And as always,
Oh, Dark
Have a
Knight.
dark night.